step-by-step guide on how to present offers to sellers in wholesale real estate. I'm going to pull up a document that I wrote out instructions and pull out the different websites I use. So please take note. All right, calculating ARV. Right here, I wrote down a bunch of things to discuss on how to calculate ARV, because when you're submitting offers to your seller, you need to understand ARV, repair costs, and then your offer price, because that's what you're presenting to your seller. So this is after you found out your seller is actually interested in selling. You understand the criteria of what the seller has currently, like the condition of the property, and now you need to make an offer, right? Most likely, and hopefully you have a price out of them before you gave them a price. And so that's super important, knowing what they're looking for before you're submitting your offer, because you want them to give you a number first, so you can rebuttal or give them a number back. And so this is how you do it. So understanding ARV, after repair value, that's essentially the retail value, the market price of the property all fixed up, all nice. How do you figure out ARV? I've written something up, but I'm actually just going to go on Zillow to show you how to do it, because that's essentially what I'm explaining here. Since this is a video, this is pretty cool for me to do. And by the way, like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below if you have any questions on calculating ARV or any of these numbers and presenting an offer. So right here in Zillow, I have different sold properties in this area in Chicago. And what I'm looking for are properties that have been recently renovated. And they need to match exactly what I have currently. So, for example, I know this house sold. Let's just say this is my house, but I don't know like the ARV or anything like that. But I see that the seller has a property that has 5 beds, 3 baths, and it's at 3,000 square foot. So what I would do here, like this is the property that we're contacting, so don't look at the sell prices or anything. Let's just imagine that the seller owns this property and it has these amount of bedrooms and baths and square footage, right? And so I don't know what I should offer this person. So what I would do is go there. Remember, it's 5 bed, 3 baths, 3,000 square foot. So I would look at sold properties right here on Zillow. Just go to sold, and I'm going to go. You can go 4 beds, because 4 or 5 beds, they're essentially the same. It doesn't have to be exact. So I'll go 4 actually. And then I'll put 3 baths. And then I'll apply. And then I go down here, I go to more, and then minimum square footage is 3,000. So I want to look for properties so at least 2,750 and a max of, let's say, 3,500. And look at those type of properties. Now, from there, I'm going to look at properties that have been recently renovated. So maybe this is a property that has been recently renovated, and it looks like a renovated property. It looks like it's in good condition, right? What is another one? Maybe something like this, a property like this. This looks super renovated recently, right? This looks like your classic flip property. And you can tell that it was a flip property possibly because they sold the property in October of 2022, and then they sold it 6 months later, right? 5 to 6 months later. So you can tell that this was a flip property, right? Bought it for $375, sold it for $553. So these are the comps that you're looking for. Now, the 1.3, that may be a little bit out there because it may be in a different area compared to our property, right? This is right there. This is right there. That's right there, right? And so the area is important too, right? Making sure you look maybe in a closer radius to everything. So this 553, that's up there. And so what I would do is I'll take all the numbers, right? Houses that look similar to this too, right? Maybe something like this if it's recently renovated. And what you do there is going back to our instructions, is you take all the prices and you get the average and you add them up and you divide it by the number of properties. So let's say, we got different properties. Maybe some sold for $750, some actually sold for $1 million, some sold for $550. You calculate that and you look within the past year, because you don't want to look sold for, back out. So within the past year, calculate them and you divide it by the number of properties you have in that segment. And then you get the ARV. That's the ARV. Boom. Now, you can also just look at PropStream. That's one thing. And also looking at Zillow, there's estimates. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. But repair costs, it's hard because you do not want to overthink. Do not overthink repair costs. If it sounds like a deal, just get it as low as you can. You are not a rehabber, right? Do not act like you know how much it will cost, right? If it's just cosmetic in a normal area, not like San Francisco, New York City, no major things. It may start around $25,000, but to update the kitchen, bathrooms, things of that nature, kitchen may be $8 to $10,000, bathrooms may be $5 to $8, and so it may cost a good amount of money, right? If it's just cosmetic, I don't know if it'll be 25. It may be closer to 45,000. Because I think that's closer for 1,200 to 2,200. New roofs may cost anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 to repair. Structural foundation 15,000 to 25,000. Okay. Now your offer price. This is what the whole video is all about. Your offer price is, you take the ARV, you multiply by 70%. Now, 70%, that 70% rule probably changed over the years because we have higher prices. And so that 75 in some areas can go to 80%. It can go to 75%, especially when you're dealing with properties in the millions of dollars. Let's say you're dealing with a $10 million house. An investor can buy a $10 million house that's worth $10 million, all fixed up. They can buy that property for $8 million, which is the 80% rule, so to say, right? Or whatnot. And they could put $1 million into it. So they're all in $9 million, and they can sell that property for 10, 11 million, and they make $1 million. Do you understand? Like, when you dealing with higher costs of properties, the 70% rule most likely will go up, right? Because the ARV, the way it works, let's say it's 100,000 and your repairs is 20,000 and you will make 10,000. Well, you get 100,000, you times it by 70,000, you minus your rehab, and you minus your how much you want to make, your assignment fee, and then your offer is 40,000, right? Because it's 100,000 times 70%, which is 70,000, minus 20,000, which is your rehab, minus 10,000, which is your assignment, and your offer is 40,000, right? Sometimes in normal areas, if the property needs work, sometimes I notice like making my offer 50% of that max or just 60% of that max may work a lot of times. So, for example, I know there's this property that's worth like maybe 240 all fixed up. My offer price may be around $110,000, $120,000, honestly, right? If, maybe it needs a new roof, maybe it needs an AC or something like that, I can spend a good 50, 60,000 on that property. I bought it for 120, I'm all in 180, and I can sell it for 240, right? And so sometimes it's hitting that 50%. And so now you present that to your seller. You talk with them and you speak with them about what they're looking for in the property, and also like, hey, I know you want this, but this is my number. And then you negotiate, right? You start a little bit lower, obviously, than your offer price. Like, if my offer price is 40,000, in my head, I'm all like, will you accept like 35-ish? I'm around 35,000. I'm around 37,000. And then you'd be like, hey, the max I can go is 40,000. But I mean, if you're willing to lessen your fee, your assignment fee, you can go up to 45,000 or 48,000, whatever it is. You can always make the numbers work. And so That's how I would present offers to my seller. That's how I figure out my offer price to a seller, is by doing those different calculations. If you all have any questions on maybe how to present your offer to a seller, how to say it in a nice way, let me know. But I think this video covered a lot. Essentially, you have to make sure that you get an offer from them, and then you see if that works for you, and then you negotiate accordingly. You just talk about your numbers. All right, you all, hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll talk to you all later.